Hi, everybody, and welcome. Such an exciting moment today as we celebrate Sylvia Stelten, who is our seventh Quantum Soul Guidance certified practitioner.
Woohoo!
Oh,
Congratulations.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
my name is Ursula, and I'm with Julia Balaz and Sylvia Stelten. And we are just so excited to basically hear Sylvia's story. We want to know a little bit of her past, her present, which includes an awesome website and video, and then her future thoughts about going forward as a practitioner with quantum soul guidance. So we'll start with the very first question for Sylvia. How did you find Julia? And how did you come onto the path of this kind of star seed awareness?
I think, and I thought a long time about that, it began in my childhood. When I was little, I had some questions. Who am I? Where am I coming from? And what I am doing here? What am I doing here? I didn't totally not agree with everything that I experienced as a child on school. I felt alone and the kids were bugging me and I always was that little girl who's standing in the corner. And the most thing that I was in the sixth grade, I did some playback show and I totally hit it off. Everyone thought, well, is that Sylvia? Yes, that's me. um, and still then I had the feeling, who am I and what I'm doing here? And there were some challenges in and around the family and some things in school. And as you're going through that, you learning, you get the experience, yeah, that is what they call life. And then you go to another school, make some decisions what you want to become in when you are growing up. And I thought, well, I don't know, I like everything. And it was really, really busy with me. And again, there were some challenges and some things that I had to go through. And just along the way, I found my way, I found my path. I got a job, several jobs. I wasn't still happy within it. And then I got a boyfriend. When you got married, you want to have kids, you get a house. And then I was still asking myself, is this life? Is this what I want? And then came the answer, no, it's still not for me. So I went through the divorce, and that put a whole lot of experience that are going through within the family. Suddenly my aunt was going into a divorce. My parents started to have a fight, and my brother had some things with his then that girlfriend, and they broke up, and it was really amazing. And then when I went through my divorce, I sold the house. Then I really found the way. Yes, this is me, and I'm going back to school again. So I did another education as a naturopathic therapist. That was an education of 4 years, and it was a really strong but also a hard education. And I learned there the massages, I learned the manual lymphatic drainage, everything about herbs, everything about anatomy, physiology, the complete package. And then I went into having some practices in that, and they were really flourishing. And yes, I thought, this is my way, this is me. I found my path, and this is what I want to do. I don't know for the rest of my life, but for a certain time. But the questions that I had were still nagging me somewhere here in the end from, is this really me? And do I like that? And what do I want in life? So again, I went on with my quest, and then I noticed that my hunger for I don't want to say the occult, but more the mystical things
Mhm.
of life. Then the Egyptians start popping up with several books. I read them from till the last page, and I had some other books that are really, really crazy about. And those are the things that I developed myself in a certain direction. And I still had the feeling we are not alone.
Mm.
We are not alone here on this earth. There is something more. In the corona, that was a time that my search, my research, my mind setting for myself really took a deep, deep dive. I got a hold on some books, like a book from Carrie Cassidy. From there on, I was led to the books of Ashiana Dean, the Voyager series. And when I was reading that, that was totally mind blowing. I said to my husband, "You see, I'm not crazy. This is proof. This is proof that I'm always having these thoughts that we are not alone." And that was still really amazing. And as the corona time went on, everyone has to go through certain experiences in daily life, in their work, in their family, everywhere. And for me, it was also a really hard time because I had done a job in Germany, and they were really, really hard on pursuing and really focused on taking the papaya shot. So I thought, no, I don't want to do that. It's my life. I'm a master of it. And no, I don't want to do that. So I was just like that. I was a pariah. I was dangerous. I was no good. And I thought, okay, if you think of me like that, bye, I'm gone. So I took the plunge and I said goodbye, and with no security behind me. And I think, well, that's the time that I'm doing it on my own. And in that meantime, I had just a really cozy night with one of my good friends. And she's also a really good practitioner in dowsing. So I had some questions and I asked her, "Hey, can you help me?" "Yeah, sure. Just wait a minute. I'll get my gear and we start dowsing and you can ask me everything that I want." "Okay, good. I have the permission. I go now." And I went home with such a big pile of little sticky notes. I didn't have any paper with me, and she didn't have any paper with her. So I wrote everything down, what was paper, and I got my answers on my questions that I had. And she doused that I had four representations in my DNA, and it was Andromeda, Pleiades, Taygeta, and the Centaurians. And I still didn't know about starseeds. Okay, so we had several other questions, and I went home and I started doing my research again on the internet. And then the sentence with starseed popped up. I think, okay, so this is what I call to be a starseed. And I took in the search engine the word starseed, and then Julia's calculator popped up. And I thought, wow, okay, a calculator. Let's see. Okay. So I clicked on that. I put in my details, and the whole Starseed report came. And I thought, oh my God, yes, wow, yeah. What can I do with that? Can somebody tell me something about this? And so I wanted to book a session with you, but in that time I saw you were really fully booked. I think, okay, well, then I have to do it myself. So, and the rest is history. So here I am.
Amazing, amazing. And that was, so you got the course in February, 21st of February was the higher self course that you got. And then on
Yes.
8th of March, you got the Galactic Astrology course when you were guided to learn yourself, dive deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It caught your heart, your
Yes.
attention.
Yes, for me, it was the whole course was a validation that there is really something more between heaven and earth, and that there is really there is something, and that we're not alone. And when we are really looking into it, you can see it, you can feel it. And I notice now with the few reports that I did, it's magic. It's
It's
magic.
magic.
It's magic. And you can see it in those people. When I delivered that report, and for now it were only my friends and my closest acquaintances. So you know them a little bit, and you see them several times, but you can see it in them. The energy that they are carrying in that report, in their details, that's really amazing. You can see it, and wow.
So happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Super well done.
Well, you are our first practitioner
Yeah.
certified who speaks three languages:
Yes.
English, German, and Dutch.
Yeah.
So on your incredible blog spot and your website, you offer three different languages,
Yes.
which really, and you're landing and joining us from the Netherlands.
Yes.
I'm calling that out in case any listeners are wondering, is there anybody near me? You know, and this class has gone global very quickly. It's incredible to hear your story, Sylvia, because it was almost like validation that, see, I'm not crazy. Instead, you've taken a deep, deep inner dive
Yeah.
to really understand what was all that about, you know? And now it feels like you're giving the gift back to others who
Yes.
might be asking similar questions like,
Yeah.
is this all there is? Is this really who I am?
Yeah.
Those are like deep, seriously amazing questions. It's not something light and surfacey like, oh, am I a Pleiadian or not? But it's what's behind that in the narrative.
Yeah. I really, I turned last month 50. So I always said the first 50 years were just playing around and gather some experience and doing the things that you love, or uh, running to a wall, just like that.
Acting like normal human.
Yes. And as I reviewed these questions and I wanted to prepare myself a little bit, I thought, well, all the things that I did in my life, from educations, from the time that I had a mentor with my education, it occurred to me that those all were things to mold me into a direction that I got the experience to do the things that I have to do now with this beautiful job.
Hmm.
Because with my mentor, she taught me to fully trust my intuition, no matter what. And she did that with some practices what she had, and I got the experience from that. And now I think, wow, okay, I was doing that. I was learning that. I was learning that for myself. I was also putting that in my treatments, what I did with the massages and the lymphatic treatments, what I did. And it is now everything that I learned and that I can bring into action with all this work, what I'm doing now. So, how amazing is that? And I thought,
Wow.
wow, thank you. I did a good job.
Wow. Well, you have another 50 years ahead
Yes,
to
hopefully
help.
longer.
I know exactly. With star seeds into the body, you know,
Mhm.
body work, lymphatic drainage system. I mean, from the stars into the body. Now, I do have to ask because I remember when we did the count your constellations
Mhm.
and who's your star family. I remember feeling, oh, look, I've got my little pile. And then Sylvia, you brought in your list that kept growing and growing and growing. And I'm just going to ask you, is there one particular fixed star or constellation that you would like to give voice to that resonates with you in your journey as this questing for truth and identity?
Yes, there is one particularly, and that is the one that where my soul first incarnated in the Hyades. It's so amazing because I love cats. I have 3 of them here at home. I talk with them just in my way that I learned it with my mentor, and I get answers back, and they're really totally loving. And yeah, I feel so connected to the Hyades, feline types and or beings, and yeah.
I love that. I love how at different times we have different highlighted through these sessions, and Hades, I don't think came up yet. I see it in so many charts, so it's really, really great. So that's in Taurus constellation, Hades cluster.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
What I had with, I think there were in the end of May, beginning of June, there were conjuncting Earth, Hyades 1 or Hyades 2. Around that time, I had a dream, and there were lions in it, and they were chasing me. I thought, oh no, no, not me. So I was running away from them. And in the end, it turned out they just wanted to hug me.
Oh,
Yes.
That is so amazing that you say that, and that you've noticed that the dream was during the Hadean alignment. And it's so common. We have these soul family, they really are yearning to connect with their soul family that is incarnated on Earth. Imagine you have your dear, dear family member that is deciding to go into third density world, knowing that there will be no connection because of the forgetting, and they're missing you as much as we miss them. And then they're looking for these special alignments when it's extra good to connect and to hijack the dreams or hijack the meditations. And oh, how special. Awesome.
It was in with Corona the last 2 years that I really took also a dive into Dreamwork. So I noted my dreams and start looking into them, what they are, what do they mean? What do I see? What do I feel? And it's just for, I think now the last 2 or 3 months that I'm also writing down in which house is my moon, and is there any way a conjunction with the earth or the sun? So maybe that what the dream is telling me has a connection to fixed star, what's just in that way conjunction with the earth of the sun. So
That is excellent. That makes me so happy. That's really, really good work where you're combining the analytical logical researcher, needs some proven validation or further guidance, but also hugely with the subconscious and conscious intuition, higher guidance. That's the way to go. Thank you for sharing.
you're welcome.
well, speaking of sharing, I think it's time. I'm going to share my screen. So we are now on Sylvia's incredible website. Okay, Sylvia, it's called onderzone.net, but I'd love to have you say the word.
It's onderdezon.net.
Okay, onderderzone.net. And so for English speakers
Yes.
or German speakers, you can click and her whole website changes to your language. So it's an incredible, deep soul website. And I'm going to scroll down here because time permitting, I would love to share this beautiful short video that what you and your husband created together, including the music. So let me see if I can get it going, and I'll click it onto YouTube. Let me know if you can hear it.
Yes, I see it and I hear it.
Wow, wow, wow. Here, I'll stop sharing. So I've got a marketing question for you. And
Yeah.
so here you are in a new space to set up a business. And one of the amazing things in Julia's practitioner's course is step-by-step progressions for how to be someone like you, setting up a home business to do these galactic starseed readings. So here's my question. When you took Julia's class, especially the business part, is there any area that you'd recommend someone coming new into class who might be like you in between jobs?
Um, just do the whole class and also the whole business part. For me, it was nothing that much new because I did for 15 years, had a practice on my own within the massage therapy and the manual lymphatic drainage therapy. So I knew what it is to have a business of your own and what it takes and how time consuming several things are, like the administration or getting the customers, or you have to be all around. So for me, it was nothing new, but I say when someone is coming in totally new, just do the whole course, take your time and just listen to your heart. What does your heart want? What do you want? How do you want to present yourself? And what I learned in those past 20 years now, um, how can you be uh, or how can you offer just that little bit extra that you are a difference to the others? That is what it
Well,
takes.
then tell us, how do you answer that question? Because we have a whole list now. You're the seventh practitioner that's been certified. What makes you a little bit different?
A little bit. Well, for me, it's very important when the client feels validated and worthy. And for me, is that I can give the customer something extra, like a recommendation. And when I did now several reports, I always noticed that the person was not that grounded as it should be. And sometimes I feel it only when I'm looking to their chart, then you can feel it. You can feel the energy of the person when you're only looking into their charts and you're connecting already with their energy, with the higher self. When you are feeling and really are clairvoyance, no, that's
Clairsentient.
clairsentience, yeah, you can feel that. But for yourself, and I do this all the day, all the time, grounding yourself. It's it's so much important. We're living here in a 3D world, and when we are not grounded, you cannot easily tap into the higher realms. Otherwise, you are flying around, and then maybe the information might not be coming through as it should be. So
I'm
when
so glad you're highlighting that. My husband doing Reiki, he says it almost every client, also same issue, just not people are not grounded. And I think it's also partly the electronics and the hyper stimulation of the mind that we are conditioned to do. Grounding is invaluable
yeah,
in today's age.
yeah. So when I have the paper in front of me, when there I printed the chart, and when I start looking at it, the first thing that I do is ground myself
Mm.
and feel into it. And that is what I make some notes. And when they should have some recommendation about grounding, I give it to them. I write it in the report. So, and for everyone, it's different. Uh, Someone can go with his bare feet walking in the garden, and the other one is doing the roses, or going with the hands through the dirt, or just listening to music, or taking some essential oils under the feet, or um, I don't know, sitting in the bath. For everyone, it's different. You
Mm.
have to be grounded, and I think when the people, when you are giving their report, and they get some recommendations. Yeah, I think it's really good. You're giving them something extra.
I love that. And actually, it makes me realize that when people receive the report, that is so comprehensive and there's so much cosmic information in it, it can really take you out of your body as you start tapping into these different aspects of your soul history. And you reminding the grounding right at the beginning or somewhere in the report, it can help them actually integrate those codes of that new language much, much better. I love that. Really good.
Yeah. So always when you want to offer something, just that little tiny bit something extra, just listen to your heart.
Mhm.
You find the answer there.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, Sylvia, as we wrap it up a little bit, I have one more fun question. Um, we have this large class. It just seems to grow every time I look at the Facebook chat group. Do you have a message for our classmates as they move through this really deep work that Julia is presenting?
Yes. Ground yourself every day and trust your intuition. This never lies. And it's the first thing what is holding on to you, and you can hold on to it and you can never lose it. So trust it. It's always there and it guides you in what direction you are going. Just trust it. And maybe it takes a little time to when you're not used to that, just do some exercises with it. Just what I did, and in the real 20 several past years, exercise and don't be afraid to make a mistake, because it is there and it is guiding you, and it is it is giving you the answers that you need. So when you're not trusting that, and when you think, is that okay from the answer that you got, or the feeling that you have, yeah, just trust it. It's always okay. And when you do that, when you have the confidence to trust in your intuition and in your higher self, then everything goes as it should be.
Beautiful. I can hear your soul guides are coming in. So we got a little bit of friction going. Zzzz. They're all like, they're agreeing with you. Yes, there's a choir behind you and with you.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Julia. Any final thoughts as we wrap?
I just want to say, yes, so beautiful to hear your whole story and how you're such a nice embodiment of what so many of us are going through, especially during those last few years, really that soul searching. Like your story is totally just speaking for so many souls. I really hope that many will resonate with the way you shared this and reach out to you. I've read your reports, your certification process reports, and you tapped into some really fascinating soul stories and really ancient, way, way back. I think you're really trained, as you said, over the many years doing massages. You were trained to tap into the person completely, into their energetics, and feel and sense difference between so many different clients. Like that's the best training. So you had 15 years of that, but now you're going into the galactic realm, and you can tell that you have that really good solid relationship with your intuition, with your higher self, and you're able to bring through some really amazing stories. So highly recommend it. Check Sylvia out.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Gladly.
Well, thank you, everyone. And to find Sylvia, you can look at yoursoulessentials.blogspot.com. Or Sylvia, tell us the name of your website again.
Onderdezon.net.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and see you next time. Much love.